Hey everyone, it's Walden Media here, officially with the new name. I'm here at the Quakertown Community High School District office. Sorry for starting this late. Had a little equipment misfunction. So I'm here on the side. I'm just getting ready, trying to make sure this new tripod setup works right. So please like and share this. Please remember, if you want to use these clips, contact me. Get the permission in writing, please, so we can make sure the proper credit goes where it needs to, so I can do this because I'm doing this for free. So like, share. I'm taking time out of my day to do this. I appreciate the making sure things go right. So I'm actually going to do a little different angle on this. I'm going to start with actually the flagpole. There's a prayer circle going on. Mostly seems to be Republican centered individuals, but I'll share it all anyway. So you can read that. So I'll go around to those sides, but since they were closer to where I parked, I'll start here. Thanks. Thank Again, for those just tuning in, this is a little prayer circle group outside the Quakertown Borough, sorry, not Borough, School District office. There's another group on the other side that's student centric, student focused. I'll check over that in a minute. Just want to be fair and equal a little bit. I'll move on to the other side.
Stay with my friend.
Huh? Independent media.
I got it.
Yep. All right, so I don't have the camera on me, but you can watch me walk. All right. Could go down try over here, and then I'll walk through the grass if I need to. I don't like this new tripod already. Thanks for joining in tonight. Please like, share, and subscribe. Send this to everyone you know. We are at the Quakertown School District, school district meeting tonight.
The moral universe is long.
Just print some from scratch.
I literally did that. I made that on ChatGPT. This is for the school. For ridiculous.
You can be in there anyway.
I know.
That.
I know. But this is more for just to. Well, this is also for Jordan for tomorrow too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you remember why
I brought it with me.
you did?
Yeah.
How much is it?
It was like 67.
I'm in it. Let's do it. Can I just Venmo you?
I can't do Venmo, but I can send you something.
Yes, I'm
Later. Yeah.
Stand
Boom. It's a boom here. Yeah. Cool. Let me set this up.
I'm gonna send it.
Oh, you need symbol too?
Yeah.
But
Well, still, I do. We like. Well, that's because I see it. Yes.
I don't have one in like 290. It's like it's the high hat round. It's a base pack for
You want to have
my
that
cards.
we have not one already.
And it sounds
It's gonna be too.
So we'd love for you to show your support that way. And
They do first ones. She did like those great.
like the okay.
I don't even feel. This one is.
Okay.
Probably two.
You might do that. You might have pressure.
No, this one's like.
That's definitely pressure. Hi, hi.
I do
The
have a
up and
high.
down. Okay.
And
That's
two
okay.
other shit, as I said, it's not the same.
All right.
So you brought this thing.
I have the stand. I parked over by the prayer circle
Good.
when I came back.
It's keeping it.
I didn't know this actually.
Look at the hands, make it
That
hands.
I
I know, I
I couldn't I I'll get with you at the end and I'll
Yes,
get you the stand at least.
I parked over that way too.
Okay. All right.
Sean?
Yep. I may miss everything that was going on over here because I had to run out.
no, yeah, cool. I'm great. Yeah.
It is 6:30, so maybe they might be letting people. They looks like they are letting people in. Maybe I'll do since we got a lot of the student side supporters. I will focus on that inside. I'll go back to the other room for a little bit.
Oh, man, I don't know that song.
All right, so I think so the other student group, they wrapped up already, so they can go inside. They started at 6, unfortunately. That's what the guy here then had to run off. Hello.
Be careful.
Yeah, thank you.
Lord, we pray for the school board members, for David, for Brian, for Amanda, for Joe, for John, for Chris, for Rebecca, and Roberta. We ask you, Lord, that they would be people that speak your wisdom and make decisions based upon the wisdom of your word.
How can everyone hear that? I don't know how else working.
Lord, we ask your blessings to be upon the school district, Lord. We pray that your angels put around these children, Lord. We ask that your boldness be among those people who would seek your light and see your truth. And Lord, we ask that you bless this community. Thank you for this body of believers. And Lord, we ask that you bless this evening.
One second. All right. So you got the idea of what this group is doing here. I'm going to head inside now, assuming I can get inside. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
I got it. Sir, how are you?
You can set up in the back right here.
Only in the back?
Yep.
Okay. I can't go anywhere else? I don't need
I
any
think they
cover.
move cameras, yes. Yeah.
I don't have a full-on microphone, so I usually go closer. I can move it down and adjust it. And I can just lower this.
Turning to me, it's gonna be, it's gonna be next bar, and I'm that.
I'm good.
Every time he gets in there, I'm gonna open the mail. I'm like, have you got mail?
I was starting hearing you. Yeah, they know you. She's a 20.
You see, she's younger than us, right? She's like my brother.
Yeah, yeah.
My daughter's afraid. Like I can't wrap it here. Like
My brother flies airplanes.
like commercial.
They put you in charge of that way. He's like, yeah, right.
He's like, I can't wrap my head around it either. That's why I didn't know your brother's commercial pilot. That's
Great.
That's a wonder you have.
I know.
Do you remember
You guys are
friends?
yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Take safe pictures. In the right?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Just to show you what do we know.
I-
We'd start and this is. I don't know so much.
Someone, that's one of those.
I guess recognize.
Is it a disco meeting?
I might have to go sleep.
I said, your son. Your son is don't be big. Like always matters. Hey, just you're a bunch of my They stage message me privately and friend, and I told them, I can meet anytime. So he's like, I'm just afraid of him. And he's like, we're just gonna leave it at this. I'm like, that's probably your best option.
I love when they do that.
Yeah.
I actually had My Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff's best friend has a brother who's also named Jeff, who was 8 years old. And it was pretty interesting. And he messaged me like privately. I was like, I was like, dude, like it's just chill.
These all saved.
These are all seats open. Yep, go ahead. You can cut. Yeah, don't mind me.
And
I'm flexible.
you don't have to look at me. We're not gonna get that. But like, it's great. It's all good. And he literally fired with.
You are perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
You are illuminated.
There's people there that have seen it that place. And when you get the car. There's not a. Right.
That would be Jamie.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I just appreciate Jack and I.
Music.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
I knew what you were going with
Yeah,
that.
I'm tired.
That's okay.
But, well, thank you. I guess.
Hasn't been in generation.
It nice
says,
sound.
Good.
So
It's like raining.
It's good.
Sure.
And all that.
You know,
It's fine for you.
Weather.
No.
I think better.
but.
That hardest. So.
I
Coolest thing.
I thought things. You can cut through if you need to cut through. Like,
You're looking for the game.
okay.
First time she saw the box, I.
All right. If you need to cut through, feel free.
It's a.
I thought things settled down with telephone and Saturday. Now things.
And then
I don't know if I can.
no way. It's like it's just kind of.
Are these seats though? I think. Okay.
Yep.
That's it's.
Is your. Gosh, sorry.
Oh,
I got a perfect seat. It's like coming to a tiny bill.
And I'm sure that. And
The move that was outside. I think that
I'm like.
not the fun.
I got one coming because he steps up a little bit because I'm sick, I'm tired.
I'm in here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Say less. Yeah.
Fair. All right, we're gonna get started with February 26th, regular meeting. May we all rise, pledge the flag. Yes, he does.
Here.
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 On. Here. Mr. Ryan.
Here.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Here.
Mr. Kern.
Here.
And Earl. Here. Mr. Ryan.
Here. Okay, announcements. Before this meeting, there was an executive session to discuss some tax assessments, personnel related topics. This meeting is being recorded by the board secretary. Tonight's meeting is live streamed and recorded. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the January 22nd, 2006 meeting of the Board of School Directors? So I'll make the motion. I'll second them. Moved by Mr. Reimers, seconded by Mr. Gethos. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All right, well, student representatives report. Turning it over to you guys.
Hello, everyone. First off, I would like to thank all of the counselors at our school who have offered their support to the entire student body in this time of distress and division for many of our community members. Regardless of where we all stand on this issue, our counselors have stepped up to be a resource for all of us and to help our students in whatever way possible and treat all of us with respect and dignity. First of all, I want to say congratulations to formerly known as Mr. V, who is now Dr. V, on receiving his doctorate. And thank you to all of the administrative team at the high school for their support and guidance during this time. The structure of the high school, especially in a time like this, will bring normalcy to students, helping to ease the uncertainty of this time. The whole administrative team has helped the building feel safe, supported, and like a community. So again, I would just like to thank our high school administrators for their constant support, and especially during this difficult time. I want to thank Dr. Hoffman for stepping up at this time and doing such a wonderful job. She's very well spoken. I think is handling everything that's going on very well.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening. My name is Aiden Myers, and I'm a junior here at Quakertown High School. Before I share my opinion on what happened last Friday, I'd like to share the many reasons why I'm proud to have grown up in this community. I could talk on and on about the strong education I received from my amazing teachers and principals, the support from the local business owners who help sponsor and donate our amazing sports and music programs, the town and school maintenance workers who keep our classrooms, parks, and ball fields safe and well kept, the churches and organizations such as Freefall that give young people a place to be. I go on and on about the many ways why I'm proud to live here, but what I've learned from being here in this community, that it is not one person or organization that has made me proud to live here, but it's our entire community. And last week, there was a breakdown within it. Like many here tonight, I learned about it through news, district communications, social media, and conversations with others. While the incident left me and many others concerned and disappointed, my hope is that we come here tonight and look for ways to reestablish our shared sense of community. As we all can see, Quakertown is a very small town. Because of that, we are very closely connected. We have the power to make meaningful change to support all of us, and we cannot do this by finger pointing and screaming at each other. So we gather here tonight to discuss a very complex issue. I'm asking all of us, students, parents, educators, and community members, to speak with respect, to listen with patience, and to honor each other's opinions. It is the least we can do for each other. We may not all agree on every issue. We can't change what has happened, but we can agree on how we speak and how we act moving forward together as a community. If we do this, then the next time we end up on the news, I'm sure it will reflect a town who cares deeply about their people and not one that is divided, because that is what we are about. Let's remind ourselves and let's lead by example for the future generations and for the rest of our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Reed. Moving on to standing committee reports. In the interest of time, we're going to defer all the standing committee reports to our next board meeting. That takes me into President's report, and I have tough to follow that. So thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate everybody being here. I just want to take some time to read through some of the communications that the district has sent out to our community through the channels that we have. I realize it's highly unlikely that everybody who's here has had a chance to read these communications already, as it's impossible for the school to reach everybody in the community who have contact information for anybody who doesn't have students in the district. However, I believe it's important that everybody has this information that has been shared publicly before we begin tonight. So, from the message that was sent out on Sunday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. We knew the events surrounding Friday's walkout have been unexpected and stressful for many of our students, staff, parents, and community members. We are sensitive to the impact it has had and the stress many are feeling. Media coverage and some information circulating on social media have made this even more challenging. Here are a few important points for context. Quakertown followed the same format used by most regional school districts in the days leading up to the walkout. Administrators met with student organizers on February 13th and February 18th to review their plans and discuss alternative ways to demonstrate their right to free speech that wouldn't disrupt the school day. To be clear, like nearly every school district across the region, it is our practice not to endorse or facilitate a student walkout during the school day for any reason. However, we also know it is our responsibility and duty to provide reasonable safety and security support for students and staff members who enter and exit our schools. When students said they were planning to hold a walkout that extended off school property, something the district as a public school system has no legal authority to stop them from doing, the administration and student organizers discussed and agreed to a route that would confine the walkout to an area in front of the high school to make it more manageable for safety and security purposes. Quakertown police were informed and, like the police departments supporting most districts around our region, agreed to provide a presence on Friday morning to support security. Throughout the week, students who indicated they intended to participate in the walkout reported bullying and were receiving threats, and our concerns about safety issues continued to build. At 9 p.m. on Thursday, February 19th, the district received what was deemed a new and concerning threat of violence. In close consultation with local law enforcement, we issued a notice before the start of school on Friday that due to known safety concerns, students should not continue with the protest. This was in no way an attempt to silence students. Instead, we were adhering to our primary responsibility to prioritize the safety of all students and staff members. We met with the student organizers on February 20th at 7:15 a.m. to reiterate our concerns about threats to safety. Around 11:25 a.m. on February 20th, just before the walkout was originally scheduled to begin, our administrative team assembled in front of the school and prepared for the possibility that students would proceed with their walkout despite the safety concerns shared with them. Approximately 35 students left the high school building and continued off campus, which was not part of any previous discussed route. We received reports from members of the community that the students were moving through town and that some were engaging in disruptive and unsafe behavior. Our school resource officer followed the students as they left our campus. Once students left school grounds without authorization and walked into town, deviating from the planned walkout route, they were no longer under the district's custodial control or supervision, and we have almost no legal authority to regulate or investigate their behavior. Administrators were not on the scene in the borough and were not in any way involved in student arrests. While we consider our local police departments to be valued community partners, and we are extremely grateful for their support, it is important to note that they are an entirely separate entity. Here are some key points about how we will move forward. As you are likely aware, while there are many video clips, the timeline of what unfolded and how is unclear at this time. The school district does not have any additional information regarding the arrests or investigation, as the events occurred off school district property. Instead, our responsibility is to focus on creating as safe and supportive a learning environment as possible for students and staff to return to school this week. Regardless of differing perspectives about what occurred, we are committed to listening, supporting students and staff who may need to protest, may need to process what happened, and ensuring that everyone feels safe within our schools. We are working with the Bucks County Intermediate Unit to develop a counseling support plan for our students and staff this week. More details about the plan will be forthcoming. We have communicated with our law enforcement partners for police presence and support as we return to school. We appreciate the grace and patience of our school community. Our administrative team and many of our staff members have been inundated with hateful messages and concerning physical threats to our personal safety via email, phone, and social media. This is simply inexcusable. We have and will continue to report these threats to the appropriate law enforcement agencies. We understand there are many strong views on this issue, and we simply ask for support as we work to balance the emotions and volatility that our school community has experienced and that our students and staff will bring with them as we return to school this coming week. We anticipate there will be numerous questions, follow-up communications, and conversations in the coming days. We will do our very best as communicative and open as possible with our school community about issues related to the school district. As noted, the school district's ability to comment about matters outside of our authority and responsibility will be limited. On Wednesday, February 25th at 6 p.m., we sent out a second communication. In our continued effort to provide updated information regarding the events of Friday, February 20th, I'm writing to let you know about a format change for tomorrow night's regularly scheduled school board meeting at 7 p.m. Here we are. The board is moving public comment period in the beginning of the meeting in anticipation that an increased number of residents may wish to speak this week. We were right. The board and administration are committed to listening to our school community, gathering feedback, and continuing to be as responsive as possible, while also focusing on providing the safest and most supportive school environment for our students and staff. The school board has chosen to move all non-essential items to a special call meeting on Tuesday, March 3rd, in order to offer an opportunity for district residents, employees, students, and taxpayers to provide comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation that are or may be before the board. Because it's a business meeting, the school board, and not a town hall style community meeting, public comment will still be limited to 3 minutes. We will follow our protocols for public comment as outlined in School Board Policy 903. I'm very pleased to share that our high school students have overwhelmingly been positive as they return to school this week, coming together to support each other during this challenging time. Students have taken advantage of the crisis counseling services we have offered through our school counselors, school psychologists, SAP counselors, and the Bucks County Intermediate Unit. We will continue to offer access to support services for any student who feels that it might be beneficial. We appreciate the patience and understanding of our school community as we are doing all we can to focus on student welfare and wellness as our students have returned to class this week amidst significant media attention. Thank you to our dedicated and caring staff who continue to be supportive of our students and to all in our school community who have reached out. I want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. Now, I'm going to read a statement regarding how we're going to conduct public comment, and then we're turning this over to you because we want to hear from you. We are about to enter public comment in accordance with Pennsylvania Sunshine Act, which provides an opportunity for district residents, employees, students, and taxpayers to provide comment on matters of concern. Before we begin, I would like to remind the public that we are an institute of education and that we should set an example of professionalism and decorum by being respectful of each other. Let's listen to Aiden. Additionally, individuals shall wait to be recognized by the presiding officer before commenting. That's me. Speakers must direct all comments to the presiding officer, also me. And anyone speaking must preface their comments by an announcement of their name, their municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable. The public comment session at the beginning of the meeting may be limited to not more than 30 minutes. We're going to go way past that. We're going to waive that. We may still have to limit it because we have business to conduct. The second public comment period may be limited to not more than 30 minutes. We're gonna waive that too, if we have time, but eventually we may have to stop. In the event that we have to stop, we will call another meeting for public comments. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Commenters may not cede their time to other individuals. No individual may speak more than once on the same topic in either public comment session, unless all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard and there is time remaining in the public comment period. I don't think we're going to run into that today. Please understand that you are being heard and that your comments are greatly appreciated. To ensure as many voices as possible may be heard tonight, please try to keep your comments concise. And with that, we're going to turn it over to public comment.
Yeah, over here.
You'll be called. But you'll have time in the second comment section, right?
Anna Stahl.
Anna Stahl. If you're way in the back, wave your hand so we know you're here. I believe everybody's inside. We got somebody coming from the back.
For sure, no, I do see people in a lot.
I see if she's out here.
We can move back too, and we'll put her in the back and we'll get back to her. Next.
Robin and Bobby. Ashley Crowell.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Crowell. My children attend Chumbarsville Elementary and the 6th grade center. I'm proud to say that I live in Amanda Hahn's region. I'm a single parent and a genderqueer individual with non-traditional pronouns. One of the ways I express my androgyny is with my undercut. And I'm telling you this because I want you to know that on more than one occasion when I've gone for a run in my own neighborhood with my undercut showing, I've experienced men in loud pickup trucks loudly revving their engines at me, screaming obscenities. It's not something I could report or demand accountability for, because no one in a position of power can help that I was yelled at because I look offensively masculine from the back. I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that the escalation which occurred during the walkout last week was brought about by similar behaviors, also by men in loud trucks, maybe even the same people that made the threats which triggered your decision to cancel the walkout. But we can't prove that, can we? The psychological warfare of those who act in hatred is real and insidious, and here we are being forced to confront it. I'm deeply ashamed to watch the infighting in the community, the name calling and the tearing people down happening on both sides of the fence. It's certainly not sending the right message to the young people watching us. I'm deeply ashamed that the police officers charged with serving and protecting don't recognize the decades of systemic racism in this country have perpetuated their ignorance of anybody else's lived experiences of discrimination. I'm nervous about speaking here tonight, and I'm an individual that blends in and looks like a regular white lady a lot of the time. I am asking that we collectively acknowledge that there are people in this community that hate people like me and people with any shade of brown skin. I'm here despite my fear as a mother that cares about our collective trajectory. But I'm also here speaking up for anyone who's too concerned for their own safety to speak up for themselves. Our students spoke up, and it triggered unprovable intimidation. And that resulted in mismanagement of the situation by white men with ignorance of other people's lived experiences of discrimination. So what I'm asking for you tonight is to persevere for every student's lived experiences. I want to say thank you for what you do, especially those of you that confront whiteness and privilege because you're working for all of the students in this district. For those of you that are still learning what you don't know, I hope that hearing from someone like me helps to reinforce the value of dismantling discriminatory belief systems. And I ask that we all remember to consider what it is to walk in another person's shoes, remembering young people, people of color, people of economic disparity, of differing abilities, of broken homes. I ask that we remember that there's an amount of unprovable intimidation that many people experience purely because generational prejudice. I know that you care. You wouldn't be here otherwise. And I just want to say thank you again for what you do. I remain proud that my kids are under your care while they learn. This district supports my family, and I thank you for that. West Call.
My name's Wes Combs and I live in Region 2, Trumbowersville as well. First, like a preface, what is a school director? What is a school board member? Or essentially a board of directors. School district directors are guardians and stewards of public trust. They put the interests of the local communities, youth first. Though the policies they adopt, the school board members are ultimately responsible for the success or failure of local public education and all of the activities which students participate. Now, as a technician, as a manager, I'm gonna approach this a little different than the gal before me. We've got to look for the root cause of what happened, all the way back to the beginning. Now, there's a breakdown in the management in QCSD. As board members, you are directly responsible for review, correction of the performance of your superintendents and the opportunity to proactively avoid all of this mess. My fear is QCSD made a decision that was influenced by pressure exerted by a radical, unhinged, racist local organization. That pressure, that public trust in existing executive administration has been destroyed after a decision to cancel the student protest. This could have been a learning experience. It could have been a lessons in civics. How does an administrator or administration earning six figures with the experience years to be in a position like that, not know that these kids were going to do something? That's outrageous. I'm not privy to the threats, but common sense tells us that if the threats were believable, why not have the protest on the property? Why cancel it? Or why not have it in the gym? That's because the decision was made because of said organization and their craziness. We missed the whole ball. We whiffed. These kids know more about the state of the world and the state of the country than that same aforementioned organization.
Yeah.
We likely will never know who said what to who and influenced who. But as looking for a root cause, the root cause is right here in QCSD. Thank you.
Michael Rogers, I live in Richland Township, and we have 3 kids in the school district. Y'all are lucky I only got 3 minutes. The threat that was given was that a gun was going to be present at the walkout. None of y'all know that, but I do. I want the meeting, I want that canceled. I want that walkout not to happen because I want safety in the district. I don't want truancy. I don't want politics. If my kids know the teacher's political affiliation, you're terrible. You should be fired.
Please address me.
Address the board, please.
I'll talk to whoever I want to talk to. You don't like to walk out.
It's
There needs to be communication and transparency. A threat was made that a gun was going to be brought to the walkout. I want to be told that. I don't want to be told that there's a threat. And I don't want to be told when the gun threat comes in between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock on the 19th, I don't want to receive an email 9 hours later that's misleading and not factual. I support our police. I support our Constitution. Okay? Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequence. If you want to protest, if you want your voices to be heard, do it without violating laws, breaking policy, causing problems, blocking traffic, blocking sidewalks, assaulting each other, or assaulting the police. I'm not talking.
I'll get it.
That's
Good evening. My name is Jessica Buman. I'm a Milford resident and I'm a proud parent of 2 children in the district. I'm here tonight because I care about this community and the standards we set for our students. I've read statements from the board members about unity, resilience, and leading by example. I share those values and I believe unity and resilience require accountability, especially when student safety is involved. The district acknowledged that safety concerns, including a credible threat, existed prior to the planned walkout on February 20th. When that information became known, it highlighted that proactive planning is critical. When emotions are high and students care deeply about an issue, it is the school's responsibility to anticipate their response and provide a safe, structured alternative. Other districts facing similar situations like Pennsbury and Chamonix provided on-campus alternatives so students could express themselves safely while remaining under supervision. To my knowledge, we did not provide that option. When the event was canceled at the last minute without a meaningful alternative, it was predictable that students would leave campus. Instead of guiding their energy into a safer option, we left them to navigate it on our own. More like withdrawal when steady guidance was needed. The risks were foreseeable and unfortunately they materialized. This was a leadership moment and we fell short. I greatly appreciate that counseling and support services have been made available in the aftermath, but prevention is just as important as response. I am asking the board to conduct a transparent review of the full decision-making process, what worked, what did not, and what specific changes will be implemented moving forward, along with step-by-step protocols and backup options so that no future situation leaves students without a safe alternative. Families deserve clarity and a concrete plan for how situations like this will be handled in the future. It's the district's responsibility to ensure that students are not left to choose between their voice and safety. Trust is ultimately what this is about. Families trust this district to anticipate risk, to guide our students through difficult moments and keep them safe, physically and emotionally. When trust is broken, the only way to rebuild that trust is through transparency, accountability, and clear changes moving forward. I urge you to show our students and community what leadership looks like. Thank you.
Dave Brown.
I appreciate the young people here tonight.
Name and residence.
I used to be one.
Sir, name
I
and area of residence.
Excuse me.
Name and area of residence.
My name is Dave Brown, as mentioned. Live in Milford Township, 28 years. And I started high school 60 years ago. I was the future. A lot has changed, but a lot stays the same. As a point of background, I appreciate your stage in life, because I was there. When I went to high school, the USS Pueblo was seized by the North Korea in January of '68 with 83 service members. One died. We were annoyed. Nixon drove past my front door during the '68 campaign for president, was pelted with eggs. Not welcoming. There were signs in the group. Trade Nixon for the ship. A lot of people like that idea. The Vietnam era war era continued through the '60s into about 1975. And a friend of mine from the class of '65 was a medic and he was killed. That was upsetting. My birthday was drawn in the third draft of Vietnam. My number was 191. I wasn't called up because my number was above 95. There were 366 dates that were drawn that year because I was born in a leap year. In the spring of '68, we had political assassinations. It was very upsetting. Thursday, April 4th was a school day. Martin Luther King was killed. Especially the Black students in my high school were very upset. They ran through the halls, but did not leave school and did not tangle with the police. Wednesday, June 5th, RFK was shot after he won the New Jersey primary. And he was killed just days before friends of mine who graduated the class of '68. That was annoying. Spring of 1970, we had Kent State. 4 students were killed, 9 were wounded, and it set the stage for what was going to happen with me going into college in the '70s. But I offer that as a background for a suggestion for the school board. What they did when I was your age, they invited adults into the high school and they listened to us as teenagers and they offered insight for their generation. And I will shut up. Thank you.
David Spanis.
Good evening. My name is David Stavanis. I live here in Quakertown for over a decade. I have 2 children who attend the Quakertown schools. I also witnessed and filmed much of the events that transpired that day. From the point the students left school to the point that they were attacked by unidentified law enforcement was less than a half hour. I am disgusted by the egregious failures of this school district. I want to ask the school board, where are your balls? Theoretically speaking, would you cancel the next football game due to a threat? Possibly every football game, every wrestling match, every school event in general. Maybe the next math test could be canceled. Where does it end? Or does the school board have a bias? Maybe this issue wasn't important enough or didn't align with the powers that be in Quakertown. Maybe there was no threat. What was the plan before it was canceled? Was there one? Did Quakertown High School staff have a plan to support and protect the protesting students? After the students left the building, why were they abandoned by staff?
Yes.
After the ICE protest was canceled, why was lockdown not initiated before Pride was over? Why were safety measures not taken to protect all doors? Did the principal and school staff forget how many doors they have? How did the kids get out if there was a threat to their lives? I've heard there will be disciplinary actions taken on all students involved in the protest. What are the disciplinary actions of the school on the students who colluded with recent graduates and other adults to harass and cause a public disturbance by assaulting the protesting students with their illegal air horn and modified mufflers that blow exhaust to pedestrians? Where is equal justice? Is there a plan to reschedule the protest that so many students in this school feel is necessary as a federal agency wreaks havoc in communities all throughout our nation? to the parents and other members of this community who believe students are not mature enough to have these issues, I say shame on you. Never in our history have the youth and the people in general had more access to information than the age we are living in right now. And in conclusion, like I said in the video, fuck ICE, go kids. Yeah.
Same comments.
He has a soul. That's a white man with a soul, not that.
Okay, can you repeat that name, please?
Same comments. Hi, my name is Lisa Cummings. From Township, and it's
Here. It's close to the microphone.
Yeah.
Very close.
Is that better?
Yeah.
More?
You're good.
Okay. My name is Lisa Cummings. I live in Richland Township, and my child is a student of the Quakertown Community School District. I have more questions than answers, so most of my time will just be asking questions. I respect your decision to make choices based on the safety of our children. We know that this is a polarized topic in our community, and I'm not surprised that there were threats. We've seen the unhinged comments on social media. However, there are school districts all around the area that have hosted protests without incident. The school that are canceling the event stated, canceling the protest is the most appropriate course of action in the interest of student safety and well-being. This is very soft language. The statement that was made after the incident stated, we received a communication regarding a potential safety concern. It also stated students reported bullying and were receiving threats. What was done about the bullying and threats made during the week leading up to this? Was there a verified credible threat made the night before? If so, this should have been communicated in the initial letter canceling the event, so parents and students could understand the full picture. Has an investigation been launched about the potential safety concern? Is that person being held accountable? We need transparency because there could still be safety concerns if this was actually credible. If there is no accountability for the people making threats against our children, then it's reasonable to assume that it will continue to happen again in the future. When I read the letter that morning, the protest had been canceled. I immediately knew that there would still be students that would choose to do it anyway. I would have. Everyone should have known that and made a plan B and a plan C. Planning for the event provided for a closed campus, no parents or community members. It planned for law enforcement presence, including perimeter security. It provided for safety zones for the kids to be in. After the cancellation, were other options provided? Because if not, you fail these kids by giving them no option other than walking by themselves into the community. And obviously having a lot of harassment, which is just too much to ask. I know this is a really hard position for you to be in, and there probably wasn't a right answer, but I'm very disappointed that it seems the school is wiping their hands of the kids who were injured and arrested.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank you.
Next one, and then one. Okay. Right, call the next person, and then one on deck, so we're ready to go.
Laura Foster, and then there will be Amalia Ritter.
Hi, I'm Laura Foster. I live in the community. I live in Quakertown. And I work in the community as well. And I am also one of the organizers for Upper Bucks United. We serve the communities of Quakertown, Penridge, and Palisades. Over the last week, we've had many family members, community members, people from across the nation reach out to us asking what the heck happened here. And the thing is that we don't have an answer because none of us really know what the heck happened here. This is your time to provide information and clarity with a tone of respect and love for these students. Everyone up here needs to look at this with a place of love in your heart for all of the students, including the students who are being put in chokeholds, who were being pushed on the ground and thrown in planters, while Lisa Hoffman writes a letter how she is thankful to the police for keeping them safe. So I ask you, Lisa, did you feel safe while the children were being thrown on the ground? Because I can tell you that our community is not in agreement with that.
Ma'am, please address me.
Thank you. So the tone of what was communicated out was tone deaf. The messaging of thanking the students for staying in school while ignoring your students who were out there getting brutally attacked by the police. White privilege. The tone is something that should have started from the beginning. As soon as her letter came out, everyone on this board should have been like, what are we doing? Are we only here for the students that are ones that we're in agreement with? Are we for all the students? The students that someone here sent out your SRO officer. So the SRO officer is employed by the Quakertown Police Department. So when that person left, are they an employee of the school? Are they an employee of the Quakertown Police Department? Whose jurisdiction was that individual under as they were there watching students being thrown to the ground? These are the questions that you owe our community. That individual should absolutely not be on school property until the investigation by the DA is completed. This community has an opportunity to come together and to be able to show that we are doing the right thing. You need to start tonight doing the right thing. It is no longer a time of placating with platitudes and making statements about concern about your own safety, concerns about threats to your staff, while they're turned in detention centers to this day. All of you up here should be talking to, everyone here should be talking to our DA. I know that you guys know him. We know him. Everyone should be asking for this child's release. Everyone up here should be advocating. You're here for all of the students, not just the students that fell in line with what you thought was appropriate. Moving forward, the steps forward have to be ones of accountability. Make it happen.
Molly, 1 second. You read the next person on the list. I get ready.
Caroline Vento.
Molly.
My name is Amalia Ritter. I'm a Quakertown Borough resident, parent of 2 students and 3 alumni of this school district. Like the rest of the school community, I received the email February 17th from Principal Van Honterdal, alerting that the school has collaborated with students to conduct a student-led walkout. In essence, the principal made an agreement with minors that they could cut class and engage in a protest during instructional time. This school does not practice its own beliefs. The school website lists a shared belief which states, we believe we are responsible for preparing all students for life after graduation. After graduation, students join the real world where people don't walk off their jobs to protest. You walk off the job, you're fired. You want to protest? You do that on your own time, not company time, and certainly not instructional time. How can our children be our future if you don't work alongside parents to engage them in the basic practice to remain at work during work hours? The school website also says we believe education is a collaboration between students, parents, and families. The principal collaborated with minors, yet where did he uphold the school's listed district belief to include the parents and families? Blanket letters don't count as parent involvement. Just last week, I had to complete 2 parent permission forms to allow my child to participate in activities to excuse them from instructional time. Where was the parent involvement in this case for parents to decide? Instead, you took it upon yourself to dismiss my parental rights. Why? You say minors should be free to express their First Amendment rights? Well, if this were changed, then why don't students participate in a good news club be given that same opportunity during lunchtime or a study hall? Instead, you pick and choose which First Amendment right they can express. That's discriminating. School board rhymers, you also briefly posted on Facebook that every age can protest. The principals deal with minors to cut class to protect during instructional time unfolded into a series of events. They lost their opportunities to possible school admissions, possible scholarships, possible employment. You misused your position of leadership and influence over minors. The future that you were hired and elected to protect. It is time to responsibly act in the best interest of our students.
Ever heard speak baseball, I am baseball. Next one, starting Steve Biddle after Caroline.
Hello, I'm here for the sake of the neighborhood. This has become such a politically charged issue, and it should be a neighborhood issue. Caroline DiMenuto, Quakertown Borough.
Thank you.
A lot of prayer has been put into what I have to say, and my message is for the kids. I see you and I hear you, and I'm sorry that we failed you. In the beginning of the school year, I recorded this administration breaking every federal and Supreme Court law under the sun. And you know what they did to me? They sent the district attorney's office to my house to confiscate my cell phone, to suppress the evidence of what actually is going on around here. This administration has no respect for the Constitution or the law. I'm facing felony charges for interception of an illegal wiretap, all because they wanted to prosecute my daughter for having a vape when she never had one in the first place. She missed 10 days of school, and now I'm facing jail time for videotaping the truth. But I made bail, and this is what I decided to do with my time. We did a class action lawsuit and a massive audit of their spending. I have been protesting since last year, begging for our children's constitutional rights to be honored in our school district. I have been sitting outside in my Tommy Bahamas here, holding up signs and begging parents to stand with me. This school board has done nothing to protect or prepare these kids for real life, and it shows. They told us not to come, and look what happened. Not only did they abandon these students, they insisted that we abandon them too. And I never listen to them, but the one time I do, God puts me smack dab in the middle of the chaos anyway. We are all parents who want the same thing, a bright future for our children, no matter their religion, political affiliation, or color of their skin. We live in a culturally diverse neighborhood with struggling single parents, low-income families, where every dollar counts. We are the working class. And while we are out providing for our children, this administration spends its days violating student rights, overtaxing the poverty line, and destroying the future of our kids before they graduate. This school district has stolen taxpayer funds, mismanaged trusted dollars, and continued down the same destructive path for far too long. The majority of Quakertown Borough is demographically minority, low income, or comes from a single parent household, one of the three. Yet here we are being targeted and discriminated against the most. Because of the poor leadership, the negligence of these students, more children from Quakertown Borough are added to the list of Bucks County's juvenile crime. More children are now facing jail time, charges, and a criminal record, all because this administration couldn't be bothered to stand outside for 5 minutes and hear them out. I might not agree with what was being protested, but I'm just as angry as these parents for what the children are going through. My kids have gone through the same thing. In the state of Virginia, it is illegal for the school to call the cops on the kids, but in Pennsylvania, it is the school district's first response. Whatever panic was created by the Quakertown School District when they called the police. There is no reason to call the police on our kids when you could call their parents. Every student deserves the right to speak up. We elected this joke of an administration who doesn't give a damn about these kids, and we are now facing the consequences. I will be sitting outside for the next week in my Tommy Bahama chair. Every day I will have a different sign, and I encourage everyone to come together in solidarity against the school district instead of the police. Until we hold the school district accountable for its failures, they will continue to imprison our youth. Thank you.
Very just next. Hold on a second. You're good, Steve, you're good. Yep.
Stephen Biddle, Quakertown, 48-year member of the resident school district, proud parent, alumni. I'm a retired part-time local official and part-time educator. Was teaching assistant at the Warden School and in Temple University with policy planning. For about 15 years, I served on the Quakertown Area Planning Committee, which is the 6 towns in the school district as well as the school district. So I have particular insight. I think we all should just sort of take a deep breath. We all have strong emotions about this tragedy, but I've known a number of members of the school board. I know and I trust that you folks are diligent, resourceful, you do your homework. It's not easy to be a volunteer school official. It's a lot of work. But I want to offer as a kind of political history trait individual that this is a really a learning moment. I challenge the children in this district and I challenge their teachers. If we call this a learning moment, let's have it be something really deep. Democracy is not simple, it's complicated. Perhaps the school district would encourage what we used to call teachings in the 60s in all the middle schools as well as the high school. This happens to be an election year. The young people that are turning 18 will be having the opportunity to vote for state house, legislator, state senator, US Congress, lieutenant governor, and governor. I think we should specifically remember that while we have juries for criminal and civil trials, you also have what are called grand juries, where citizens are assembled as volunteers to serve for months at a time, studying and cross-examining, investigating a particular crisis or irregular pattern in local government. And I would urge the school district to seriously consider how teaching time could be set aside to do teachings and even to establish children's grand jury. I'm willing to help find outside experts. I'm willing to help find historians. I'm willing to bring Pulitzer Prize winning reporters here to cover this abstraction but truly historical crisis. Thank you.
After this speaker, it will be Don Waldenberg.
Hello, my name is Lucia Simonelli. I'm a resident of Quakertown Borough and a member of the Bucks United of Indivisible. First, I want to thank you for adjusting the agenda to move public comment to the beginning of the meeting. This is more than just procedural. I think it does send a meaningful signal that you're willing to listen first. After what occurred Friday, rebuilding trust with the community will take time, intention, and sustained effort. And this is an example of one small but important step to make that possible. It feels to us right now that the institutional response, however, has been imbalanced, punishing the most vulnerable and protecting those with more power. I understand firsthand that there may be a lot of advice to play it safe and not take a stance, advice to choose non-committal words, and to evoke the ideal of due process to shield from the truth of the violence that we have all seen and the confusing response to lock children up for days and days, and the infuriating silence regarding the accountability of the adults who threatened and law enforcement who escalated. We recognize that much of this falls outside of your jurisdiction, but there remain many unanswered questions about the decisions of the schools and school districts, the sequence of events leading up to Friday and on Friday that are important to have clarity around and to give students an idea of what they can expect in the future. Right now, there is a lot of fear and uncertainty does not help. Justice can be uncomfortable for those in power, but it is the only way to heal this community. Thank you.
Gary, who's next? No, John's next, but after.
Laura Foster.
You had Laura Foster. Right, done. Let's go.
Kelsey Nielsen.
Name and residence.
Hey, my name is John Baldenberger. I do not live in the district, but I own a business in the district. Many of you know who I am. And here I am tonight breaking the cardinal rule of owning a business, speaking at a public government meeting.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it's not something for fun. It's because our children, it's because of our children. Many of these kids I have known for years. I've seen them grow up, and I am deeply disturbed at what I am seeing happen to these kids. Yes, they may be children. They're not property. Children have rights. First Amendment rights. There is no age restriction in the Constitution that says you have the right to this, unless you're this age.
Yep.
No. Sorry. Not how it works. And frankly, I think this district has failed those kids, and we saw that on Friday. And I'm not here to point fingers, but I think things could have been done a lot better and a lot different. And as educators, I think this is a teaching moment. And I hope this is a moment to learn and decide how to, approach something like this a lot different. Because, we were all kids, and we were all those kids' age at one time or another, either recently or many years ago. And we know how we were at that age. And if there's one thing that's tried and true with kids at that age, they're going to rebel. And whether it's something that we agree with as their parents or not, as a community or not. And I think the best thing that educators can do is to support them in those decisions any way possible, whether that educator agrees with them or not, because that's how these kids learn. My train of thought here, that's how these kids learn, and I hope that they'll be supported. I'm hoping that the kids that are being punished for walking out will not, if they haven't already been punished, will no longer be punished by the district. I hope any reprimand that is on their record currently because of this will be removed. And I hope we can do better, move on. Thank you.
After Kelsey, Anna Stahl. Hi, my name is Kelsey Nielsen, and I'm here. If you recognize, I want to note that none of the student protesters are in the room. Do you know why? They do not feel safe. They do not feel safe in this town because they are experiencing all the children of immigrant families are being called racial slurs at school right now, so they're not safe.
Can you,
I'm
name
sorry.
your residence?
Yes, I'm Kelsey. Sorry. I'm gonna let this young woman speak.
You may not cede your time to somebody else.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. She's the sister of one of the protesters, and I wanted to make sure the protesters' voices were heard. Is that not okay?
You're not supposed to cede your time, so you're ceding your position in line. Do you sign up to speak?
Yeah, that's fine. I will. Oh, can I give it to her? Because is that not okay?
You need to sign up to speak.
Let her speak. Paper right here.
What if you just
Fill out the paper.
Well, I'll read the words of one of the student protesters in the meantime. We want people to know, this is a direct text message from the student. We are in a group chat with all the organizers, the 3 girls who organized the protest. This is from one of the other students that's also in the group chat. We want people to know that our intentions going into planning this protest were not to cause any harm. We came in completely peacefully. We wanted to bring light to something we believe is important and deserves to have awareness. Everyone's voice should be heard. Now, it is a tragedy what happened. But what is also a tragedy is that these kids are being treated as the criminals instead of the killer cop. This man, I wouldn't be surprised if this cop had killed someone I wouldn't be surprised if this cop is a pedophile, a child abuser, someone who has harmed his own children and other children in the community. Because if he can put children in a chokehold in daylight and beat the crap out of the kid, because the kid that's still in detention, there's video of him beating her in the head, punching this child in the head, breaking her glasses, blood everywhere. There is video evidence, and that child is behind bars. But that cop still has a job and he's on active duty and can cause harm in the community. Who is the real threat? The children are the threat or the cops? Who is the real threat to this community? Because if the cops can do that and get away with it,
Yep.
that's okay.
Fascist.
Don't assault, ignore that.
Look at police officers.
So the cops,
Not be kidding, no.
so, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, you're good. What I want to say is this. The other thing is that allegedly from the students, they all have these screenshots of a picture of a gun that was sent to the school. There was a white child named Isaiah who sent a picture of a gun and said he was going to shoot up the protesters.
We're not gonna name any.
Okay, sorry. But that child, if a child made a terroristic threat and he is free, I want to understand how a terroristic threat is less of a crime than a child protesting peacefully. Thank you.
Please get your paper in and we'll get into the back of this. Steve.
And a stall.
Please, all the bags.
Aaron Ronnie Bates. Good evening.
Name and residence.
Aaron Rumsey, Richland Town Borough. Proud parent of 2 Quakertown Community School District students, not parents. I'm here to speak about our children and about what leadership looks like in moments like this. The students involved in the recent protests were teenagers. They're learning, growing, and developing the very civic awareness we say we want them to have. This moment is not just about discipline. It is about how this district defines safety, equity, and accountability. This moment is, justice for our students means proportionality. It means consistency. It means equal protection under our policies. So tonight, I'm asking the board for specific action. First, commit publicly to restorative practices in response to the protests.
Yes.
Prioritizing dialogue, mediation, and educational outcomes over punitive measures that could follow students long after graduation. Second, when implementing restorative processes, consider outsourcing facilitation to train neutral professionals, particularly facilitators who reflect or deeply understand the multi-ethnic and cultural backgrounds of the students most impacted.
Yes.
Representation and cultural competency matter in conflict and in the resolution of it. Students are more likely to engage honestly when they feel seen and understood. Third, conduct and release a transparent review of how student safety is handled during large-scale events, including coordination with law enforcement, so families understand protocols, boundaries, and accountability measures going forward. Fourth, reaffirm and visibly enforce anti-bullying and anti-harassment policies with consistency. If slurs, intimidation, or targeted harassment occur in our schools, they must receive the same urgency and accountability as any other policy violation. And let me tell you, this is coming from my home, not just my interest in the community. Fifth, expand mental health resources for students affected by conflict, discipline, or community tension. Safety is not just physical, it is emotional, and it is cultural. Equal accountability builds trust, inconsistency erodes it. Students are watching how we respond.
They are learning whether authority listens. They are learning whether justice is consistent. And this is your moment to create a ripple effect that extends far beyond our district. Moments like this define.
Thank you for your comments.
How will you use it?
And then Rebecca Mandrano. Good evening. I'm Shannon Crawley. I've always wanted to speak to you. Unfortunately, not today. I live in Quakertown, Borough. I have 4 daughters in the school district. The first thing I want to say is to the students here, I'm actually here for you more than anyone. I am a teacher. I've worked in public school, private school, charter school. Taught my own children a lot before they came to the school district. I want to mention just a few things. The school district is a fishbowl. You're an emblem of our society. You cannot control everything, and I know that. How do I know that? Because I do it every day. You reflect this. And unfortunately, you can't control all of this. And in our community, that started by Quakers, by the way. If you look right there, Quakertown, Quakers. Do we know the spices? Simplicity, peace, integrity, community, equality, and stewardship. Equality, community, equality. Just going to say that again, and peace. And this walkout started as a peaceful walkout. It was supposed to be that. My school where I work currently was going to have a peaceful walkout as well. We didn't stop the students, but what we did do was we talked to them. We, who did not indoctrinate them, just like your teachers are not indoctrinating the students, we talked to them and said, we're worried about your safety. This is what's going to happen. This is what's not going to happen. And actually at our school, we have a lot of diversity. A lot of our kids come to our school because they can't live here anymore. They cannot go to Quakertown School District anymore. You know why? Because of the racism, because of the homophobia, because of the sexism. And it's not from the teachers. It's from the community. It's from the students who are yelling the N-word walking by. My daughter at Strayer just the other day, she heard a boy, a white boy, yell at a student of color the N-word. It's just happened right after this protest. She was afraid to say anything. She didn't say anything. I'm here to say it right now. And this happens on a daily. This has been happening since my kids have been in this school district. So these kids have come out. They want to say something. We need to protect them because they are getting microaggressions on the daily. And if you don't know what a microaggression is, look it up. Can I get that? We've already gotten some from probably the first speaker who was a very well-spoken presenter, by the way. Thank you, made me cry. So I want to say thank you to the school district in some ways, really, because you really can't do it all. You can protect our kids. You can stand up for them. You cannot charge them with anything further. You can be there for them, just like their teachers who are not indoctrinating them. I've been doing all this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Rebecca Vendata.
Again,
This one.
the little, I mean, there's tons to choose from. Yes, name and residence, please.
Rebecca Mandato, resident 721 West Coast Street. Good evening. My name is Rebecca Mandato. I stand before you tonight, not as an adversary, not as a participant voice, but as a mother raising children in the Quakertown School District here in Quakertown. This week, something fragile cracked in our community, trust. Our students believed they were participating in a peaceful act of civic expression. They believed they were supported, they believed they were protected. And then hours before the event, supervision was withdrawn
No direct calls to parents of children that left their protection. No clear explanation of the risks. Children walked out of school doors into a situation the institution itself had deemed unsafe, without the safeguards that they thought were in place. If there was a known threat, why were families not directly warned? Why were parents not called as their children left campus? When safety is uncertain, communication cannot be vague. It must be immediate. It must be direct. It must be responsible. We are not debating politics tonight. We are discussing safety. We are discussing stewardship. We are discussing whether parents can trust the systems entrusted with their children. 5 minors were arrested. 1 adult was arrested. An adult who appeared to intervene when a young girl was placed in a headlock by a man not visibly identifiable at that moment as law enforcement.
Yes. Lights on.
I have not seen the lights on.
Please address me.
I have not seen the lights on before the incident, after the incident, and how are the kids going to know necessarily that he came out of that car? Were they knowing?
kids.
Just saying. 5 minors were arrested. I'm sorry. 1 adult arrested who had to protect the children we trust police to keep safe. That's 1 person that was arrested. The man was later identified, I'm sorry, I'm losing my spot. 1 adult was arrested who had to protect children. That man was later identified as police chief and borough manager Scott McEllery. He was the unidentified officer. While children sleep under court-imposed restrictions, separated from normal life, frightened about their futures, the official responsible for public safety, sleeps peacefully in his own home without public consequence or clarification. As a mother, I cannot reconcile that. Why is it that an unpaid pedestrian, the 1 adult arrested, appeared more compelled to protect a child in that moment than the official entrusted with protecting him? Why was the instinct force instead of de-escalating? Oh, there's so much more I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Olivia Burke. And then Jessica Evans. Please just.
Hi, my name is Olivia Burke. I'm from the Richland Township. So I am a 2018 graduate of Quakertown Community High School. In 2018, I was one of the students who helped organize the walkout for the March for Our Lives. Walkout was coordinated with schools, with teachers, the president. We worked for weeks to make sure it went off safely. I don't understand how this could have happened to these students. And you can look internally at what the issues were about. Obviously, they're both political issues. You look at the students who were organizing. These were children of color that we were not trusting to, well, I understand there was a call for safety. We had safety threats at the 2018 march. We had members of the public who were saying despicable things about us before, during, after, who showed up. We had police officers protecting us at that time. I do not understand why you're using the police to like persecute these children. I just can't understand how that was, and I don't understand how the school's instinct was to call the police on these kids. I also think that we need to have more clarification. What was the threat? Why was it not communicated to these students properly? What was communicated to these students? I want to know how we failed to contact parents in this instance. How did we fail to just communicate all of this? Ultimately, I want to know why these kids weren't given the same support that me and my peers were given. I just think it's a complete failure. And what needs to happen after this is an independent investigation into how we are communicating in these instances. How we are, what the chain of command is, what is going through all of this. We need to know how we are communicating with parents, and an investigation needs to be done into why nothing was told to these kids, why they were not really given a choice other than having it shut down. We also need to know why the response is to increase police at the school for these students after they've seen a fellow student be brutalized by a police officer. How are you supposed to feel safe going to school with more police? Yeah. I also just feel that, again, the responsibility obviously of the school is to educate these students, but it is also to protect them. Right there.
Krista Evans, Quakertown Borough. My name is Krista Evans, and I'm a graduate of Quakertown High School, class of 2017. First, I want to say how proud I am of these students who chose to use their voices. These students exhibited courage and bravery to literally everyone saying that there's something adults are too scared to even post about on their social media platforms. I used my voice when I was a student here too. I'm appalled that almost 10 years later, these kids are still enduring the racial and prejudice atmosphere in these families. I moved to the United States when I was 7 years old. I was adopted by a white family from Boston, Massachusetts, and we moved to Quakertown from Honduras. This has been my home ever since. But my journey here began with bullying at Tehiccan Valley Elementary School. Students mocked my accent, my hair, and my skin color. In 5th grade, during a lesson about civil rights and racism, a student called me a racial slur. I'll say it out loud, nigger. I ran to a teacher's aide in tears, and her response was, "Well, you are one." I will never forget that moment, and I will never forget the first educator who heard my cry and defended me and held that adult accountable. Mr. Gottschalk, I see you in here tonight, and I thank you. Told us to go back where we came from, waved American and Trump flags in our faces, and shouted racial slurs. This isn't the first racial incident that was widely reported. There was an incident during a game against Shellingham High School that brought negative attention to our district, where another racial incident occurred. I remember when the district hired its first Black principal, Mrs. Colbreth. She brought the Department of Justice into the high school to address racial slurs and issues among students. That alone speaks volumes about what was happening in the building and the community. I share this not to reopen old wounds, but to make one point clear. These issues are not new. And it is heartbreaking to see that years later, students are still standing here to fight to be heard. I hope and I pray that you take this moment seriously, that you have the courage to stand up for the students who feel unheard, because the little girl I once was is still inside of me, and she is grieving that this little town still mirrors the one thing that she struggled in years ago. Please do better for them. Diana Monty Cortez, and then Emily Gasparak.
Hi, my name's Diana Monfortes, but a lot of the people know me at school as Dan. I am a junior at
Municipality, residents, or you?
Milford. I came here, I'm part of my family, and it's very distressful to see what happened. And I truly have no words for what happened, except for it was absolutely disgusting that whatever happened, happened. I have seen a lot. I've seen a lot of videos, I've seen a lot of posts. And it's, how do you put in words someone attacking a 14-year-old girl that just so happens to be colored and has no defense against a grown man?
White privilege.
white privilege.
Yeah.
And
That's how you do it. White privilege. That's how you do it.
I'm very nervous to be standing up here, but
Great. You're amazing. You're a hero. You're better than
Listen to the kids.
keep going. And sorry if I get emotional, it's just a lot.
You're amazing.
You got this.
It's always pondering to me. I joined the debate club last year, and I've always heard that how you say something can sometimes be more important than what you said. How do you put a protest was canceled instead of postponed, giving the students another opportunity, knowing that they have a right to speak, instead of telling them, no, you can't go. And I understand it was a safety threat, but how do you just put it in simple words? Oh, there's just a minor threat. Do you just think that we're dumb, that we can't understand? If something's at risk, please tell us. And I am a big part of the music program, and I'm wearing a shirt called Resistance and Rebellion. I'm wearing all white because I know that my skin color may be discriminated against at school. Sorry. How can I go to school knowing that there's a chance that something might happen to my family while I'm there? Something might happen to me. Someone might say something to me. Something might happen to my 6-year-old little brother. Because he has different skin color that isn't white. I fear for my family. My family fears for me. How can I sit here knowing that 35 students are fighting for my life and for their rights? I cannot stand here and pretend that nothing is happening, or pretend that the bookies are right, because that was absolutely disgusting what happened. Thank you.
Listen to the kids.
I'm Gaspar, Quakertown girl. I have super social anxiety, so if I get sticky, that's what it is. I apologize if I sound frustrated. I offered to come up here to finish Rebecca's message for her because she didn't get to, and I agree with this. And then I might have a few words myself. Some of these children are now under a house arrest, facing serious charges. Their families are navigating fear and uncertainty. Well, you all sit here. And still, there has been no full public explanation. When minors are involved, clarity is not optional. Let that sink in. When force is used against students, transparency is not optional. Let that sink in. When parents are afraid to speak, something foundational has been shaken. Our children are protected by the Constitution, but beyond legal protection, they are owed moral protection from all of us. They're not asking for conflict. We are not asking for conflict. We are asking for restoration. We are asking for independent review and not to diminish authority, but to preserve it. Because authority without accountability for every white man as well erodes trust. White man was don't worry about that. Right now, many parents are not sleeping peacefully. I'm one, and my kid's supposed to go to Quakertown High School in the future if I decide to stay in the district. The elementary school has failed me when they bullied Dr. Friedman out, when Dr. Friedman bullied Dr. Lesher out. I'm stuck with what I have now. God bless them. And I don't know if I can make it in this district. Our children deserve safety that is visible. For our families deserve communication that is honest. This community deserves leadership worthy of trust that we place in it. Let this moment not define us by fracture, but by the courage to correct what has been broken. Thank you from Rebecca. And I also just want to say this. If you guys knew that there were going to be threats and anti-protests and discourse among the students within the school, why not try to get both sides to do their own protests on the same day? Why don't you actually teach them what it looks like to peacefully protest? I know that we don't agree and people are yelling over people over here, but we're all still here. We all learned somewhere. I actually learned in school what it meant. I did those things. I was taught. I was encouraged. What are you guys teaching our kids? You have them sitting on computers all day. My son has been able to access boobs, bombs on his computer, on his school computer. Yeah, no protections over that. When are you guys gonna give our kids the knowledge to actually be able to voice for themselves safely? And are we gonna give them the community to do it? I would urge that you do give students a chance to protest and do it safely. And I'd encourage maybe getting the parents involved as well this time. If I would have known that you guys were to cancel, I would have just gone as a citizen myself just to make sure everything was okay. And unfortunately for me, I know how to de-escalate. I'm a big girl. I'm not a mean MAGA man bully. Okay? I don't need to feel big and to feel safe. And the chief of this community, chief of police of this community, as well as the borough manager, should not be doing that either. He needs to face consequences, especially if you guys are gonna, or especially if the kids are gonna face consequences still, which they should not. He should absolutely be removed from his position, both positions.
Charge and yes. Conspiracy against their rights.
Oh, it's all against their rights, but you know what? Once again, look at all the white faces we have on this board as well. So I've stood in front of these people before, and I've actually had most of them looking at their paper. This is the most eye contact I've ever gotten. So I really appreciate it this time. I had to call out Dr. Friedman because he wouldn't make eye contact with me for a second when I was speaking directly to him. Thank you very much for the platform.
Robin Tinky.
Hello, good evening. Robin Ty, 109 Madison Court, Quakertown Borough, homeowner for over 30 years, and parent of 3 graduates, 2 of which own their own homes now. I've lived here for over 30 years. When I saw what happened the other day, the first thing came over was a video from inside of Sunday's restaurant. After 30 years of living here, I didn't recognize the chief either by his clothing, his uniform, or his behavior. Certainly not. I feel that day it was our responsibility to protect our children while they were exercising their rights. If there was a threat to the children, it shouldn't have been called off. The sheriff should have been called in. He should have been there to observe the whole situation. There wouldn't be false accusations against these children. I hope the police officer would have stayed in line and then everything would have turned out better in this whole situation. It could have been handled better. I also repeatedly heard accusations against these children. As a longtime standing member of this community, I think I've seen every angle of what happened out in front on Sundays, but I am yet to see a video of one child committing a crime that day. Would the police chief's time been better spent working with the board to find out who made the threats that day?
Yeah.
Oh, where we was, that this tragedy happened. Thank you, folks.
Great. That's everybody who signed up for public comment.
Point of order, there are actually representatives from the Hispanic community that have not been allowed to speak yet. If we can kindly,
If they haven't signed up,
they did sign up.
I signed up for public comment as well.
if your name has not been called for public comment, it's either because you do not live in the municipality here.
They represent the Hispanic students who are having, they're not feeling
Yeah.
outraged for anybody.
We're gonna take a 5-minute recess. We're gonna take a 5-minute recess.
The community is afraid to speak. I will speak. They have elected her to speak on behalf of the Puerto Rican community. Let her speak. Everyone.
Has this person signed up?
Yes. We are her. Yes.
What is the name of the person who signed up?
I signed up. Right here.
What's your name?
My name is Magdalene Gonzalez. I'm speaking on behalf of LULAC. I did sign up.
Okay, LULAC is the organization you're speaking
Yes.
on behalf of. Thank you. Yeah. We have, I'm sorry, it says
That's
Philadelphia. We just took it off the stack not knowing, because we weren't familiar with the organization. Please come up.
Not
here. Hi, everyone. My name is Mari Gonzalez. I serve as the Pennsylvania State Director for LULAC. It's the oldest and largest civil rights organization for Latinos in the country. Yeah. I union with the support of my national president and CEO. And one, I had something written here, but I have adjusted. You know, I see that there is a crowd of people here, and whether or not people feel the same way, you're invested in your community. I see that as an asset and a growth. And I think that your board is well positioned to be, you know, can't change what was done, but what happens forward can be changed with your board and how you choose what your decisions are next, and particularly to support these children. I want to acknowledge that this was not the only place where protests happened that day. Protests happened across the state and across the country, but the results here were different. And that's not to scrutinize the school. This is speaking about one individual, and I see a lot of individuals here who are invested in this community. So we are here because of the response of the chief of police. It did not calm the situation, it escalated it. And instead of preserving peace, we saw a student be assaulted. And I believe that these are children, right? And so we should not hold children, right, to a higher standard than we should hold an adult that has been trained from a way. We're spending time and resources on something that should have never happened. Their time should be better used. And so what I come here to say, I hope that you will think about how you can be a bridge, how you can be supportive to the solution of this. Further, scrutinizing these kids will not instill trust in the community, will not help solve this any further, and this issue is not going away. So you are in a position of power. And I stand here in support of all the organizations that are here locally and behind them. They're leading this work. I do believe that our children should not be criminalized for civic engagement. It's so important for them to be engaged. That this should not be, that they should have never been faced in that decision, and that all of you should be outraged, but productive, right? Where can we work through this? The children are not the problem. They are the future, and we should not stand while their rights are compromised. This is when they start to understand that they can trust you in government, that they can continue to believe in what we do. So I ask of you to please think about the kids. Do not, please release all the kids or be in support of releasing kids. Yes. Thank you
for your comment.
Thank you.
So we're gonna take a 5-minute recess. We're having some technical issues. Terry, you mentioned this thing. I believe it is. Yes, therapy. I don't know. Yeah, I see
I bet it's when I tell you.
But it's like, I'm not gonna start on stuff, I haven't seen her before. And it's like, you're going to.
Is this you already? I can.
Asking. Yeah. It's done work.
Anna Stahl. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Stahl. I live in the borough, and I am a certain student at Quakertown Community High School, and I'm really upset. I am telling you right now that I sat in my physics classroom and I watched the videos of my fellow classmates being choked out on the street by our police department. And I have a lot of respect for our police department, but what happened is not okay. It's not okay. And I watched it and it was so upsetting. I heard the boys, or not all of them, but a good amount of them through the hallways in the next coming periods, watching the videos and laughing and calling the protesters racial slurs in the hallways of Quakertown Community High School. And it's not okay. And there needs to be change. And I'm telling you, I tried to go out. I wanted to go out and I was not able to. But I just want to say that there needs to be more transparency with our students. I was ready the morning of the day it was supposed to happen. I didn't have a sign, but I was ready. And when they called it off, I knew that I was going to continue to do it because that's not the person I am. And I am disgusted at what happened. I understand that not all parties were in the correct, we're not all correct, not all right, but I'm telling you that it is the adults' responsibility to protect our children. Yes. They are kids. So we kicked out a 14-year-old girl that was choked out today, or not today, on Friday, and that's not okay. And it was a big disappointment. What happened? I feel like the school needs to take some accountability for what happened to my fellow classmates. I know some of the people who got arrested and some of the people who are still in there right now, and it is disgusting. Yes. What has happened? It's horrible, and I want more communication. I want transparency, because listen, you can't say that it's just a safety issue. Listen, I'm telling you that if we knew that there was a gun threat to school or something like that, then I assure you that many students would not have gone out because we understood the threat. But there was no communication and none of it. So I ask you today for more, to release those kids first off. And I want more transparency within my school. Listen, I was there. I was not, well, okay, I wasn't there, but I was in the schools and I watched it as it was happening in my classroom, and it was horrible. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're gonna go and address our board business. We're gonna try and get through this as quick as possible, and then we'll open up the general public comment of you. And thank you all for your comments. You've all been heard. All right, Carrie, are you up and running again? Okay. So we're gonna move into item 7, QE project update consent agenda. We've got the QE parking lot consolidation and street vacations plan, the QE playground relocation, and the 6th grade center locker rooms.
I'll make a motion to approve. Project
Up to that guy, Mr. Spearman or Mr. Gethel, second. Any discussion?
I do have a couple comments. It's number 8, parking lot consolidation and street vacation plan. It is a little misleading, the title there. Essentially, there's an alleyway, which is kind of the driveway to the pavilion in there. It's still a street listed on the federal plan as a street right of way. There's multiple lots within the QE lot. This essentially just provides all one lot. It's with that allows the on that paper street. They call
Thank you for that clarification. Any other discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Up next, fiscal consent agenda. We have budget transfers for October 2025, budget transfers for November and December 2025, bills list for January 2026, ESC party rental contract, annual college fair, and Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs agreement for the 2025-2026 high school students of the month. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Motion and seconded by Mr. Epoff and Mr. Reimers for the fiscal consent agenda items A through B. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Moving on to the facilities agenda. We've got, the carnival, which is the potential location for, the Quakertown Fire Department to utilize school district property. I'm gonna ask for a motion just on that. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Spear, seconded by Mr. Lyon.
Yes, ask a clarifying question.
You may, we're now in discussion.
Fantastic. The actual recommended action doesn't have where at, if there's a line.
Which is why I pulled this out for discussion.
Yes, sir.
So do you need
So I
to go back
believe-
to all my motion?
Does he need to fill that in, especially?
Yeah,
Yes, okay, I will amend my motion to, a motion to approve Quakertown Fire Department to utilize district property at and along Fifth Street behind the high school from June 3rd to June 7th, 2026. Additional time for setup and breakdown will be determined.
And is that clear enough?
in the blank, it's just Fifth Street. It's just along Fifth Street behind high school. And do we have a second for the amendment? Yeah, bear with me for a second. Same second.
Sure. Sorry.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to amend. Any discussion?
I believe this was due to some scheduling conflicts between the borough and the fire department. So this is why it's coming to district property. They need some very.
Yeah, so the firefighters approached us to ask for our assistance in providing a location for the carnival this year, as due to some conflicts between the fire department and the borough. Their standard location of had been double booked for the concert, and they were unable to have the carnival at their normal location. If they move the carnival to another date, they lose the contract that's already signed, and they will likely no longer be able to conduct carnivals with that vendor. So this is a save the carnival in Quakertown action of good faith by the vendor.
Mr. Langs, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, if I believe the borough said they that they need to, as far as electric and running lines and things like that.
Yes, sure. We have, full disclosure, I am on the carnival committee with the fire auxiliary. We have been in communication with the borough. They've been very helpful in saying that they will make sure that we have to do whatever they have to do to support us for power and for water, they can do that. They've also verbally committed to me that they will help us if there's any damage to the field they're using immediately that needs to be resodded or corrected in whatever way, that they will help us with that as well. The fire department really is thankful, very thankful. The members that were through this were able to attend tonight. So I'm speaking on their behalf that they were incredibly thankful for the district to help us out with this. And we're going to do everything we can to promote this and do this in a way that is respectful to the community and it's just a great event for the community.
And the borough's gonna handle the permits and everything else, or?
It's. Are you asking me?
Yeah, that's the question that hasn't been answered, I guess, from Mr. Barton as well.
Well, I mean, permit would be the responsibility of the fire department. Because they're the one that is out in the farm, they need to be evidence to the borough to consent to the nation.
And that was my understanding.
I'm sure they do what we've done in the past as far as whatever permits and things they've done is, it's been held at the borough for years. And I'm sure that we're able to provide all that.
Yeah, I was just trying to get clarity, so go alert our facilities people that they.
We're having a meeting with the borough on Monday night, once this is approved, to start getting all the rest of it buttoned up. We need to get our planning done as well.
Any other discussion? We have two motions before us. The first is to amend the original motion to the location of along Fifth Street behind the high school. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion has been amended. Now the motion is before us. For 9A Carnival to be held at, as the motion was written.
Aye.
All in favor?
Hold on. I just want to clarify. Sorry, I wanted to make sure. It's the 2nd to the 6th. I thought you said it wrong. I wasn't sure. I had to actually contact you.
I read it as it's printed on.
Correct. I think it was presented incorrectly and we were gonna correct it when they were here, but they weren't able to make it tonight. So I literally had to text them while we we're saying, make sure I know the dates of the carnival. So it is Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay,
With that extra page, it's the allowed.
No, it's the days of the carnival. It's just listed incorrectly. That's all. We will, our plan was always to go Tuesday through Saturday.
Should we just, can I write all my motion in a second to start over?
Withdraw your motion. Second, withdraw, let's start at the beginning again.
All right, lovely.
I will withdraw my motion.
Mine was the second withdrawal.
Okay, so now I will make a new motion to approve the Quakertown Fire Department to utilize district property at along Fifth Street behind the high school from June 2nd, 2026, June 6th, 2026. Additional time for setup and breakdown will be determined.
Okay, I'll second. I'm sorry, during discussion, I understand. If there's truly a question of clarity, I see that there are athletic directors in the back and he can tell you the name of, don't think we need clarity. Okay, I just want to make sure, because there's 2 fields and we don't have clarity on this.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Right. Okay, so we have Miss San Angela's done. It's not a board meeting that we don't have amended motions here. We're terrible at this. We've got a streak of like 3 years.
I was the first, Joe was the second.
Mr. Spear was the first, Mr. Lyons was the second. Okay, now. All those in favor of? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Can I get a motion for facilities agenda items 9B, C, D, E, F, and G as written? I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion. That was a motion by Mr. Lyons, second by Mr. Pearson. I would like Mr. Chris back to come up and just explain the.
Yes, SSC's current contract expires on June 30th of this year, so we're discussing whether to go out for RFPs and or set the offer that they have given to the board here, which is outlining exactly the content. So I think in the facilities committee, we were recommendation was to offer them a 1-year contract at this cost. What's the benefit of the 1 year instead of that's fine. You have that RFP basically built, but in 2023, they can have outlined in there, we got an additional price of another contractor. It was approximately, I think, $80,000 or $100,000 higher. So instead of transforming into a new management system, we were going to try to get another, they have been improving. They offered to hire an assistant director to help out Laird, which is currently here. So we have more supervision, which I think is going to help. Stood here 20, the same thing. Yeah. We've all had questions that last one. Yeah.
I think everything we have good faith effort will not increase the price of saying year in a row. And I believe that the actual individual that's shown they're more into it, so.
And I know I've said it still in this meeting, but this, we're making sure with this that they're not taking raises away from their staff. Is that correct?
Confirmed.
Thanks.
Yep. We also had an issue with their paying and hiring for their staff. The fall last time we were here, that's that been addressed.
It's good. What did- I didn't- Last time they were here, we found discrepancies in their hiring, starting salary for their, staff. Where people who were getting hired first year were getting the exact same amount as people who were in the third, fourth year of the company. So has that been addressed?
I believe all of the hiring and the raises have been addressed. I do have Kenneth Greger from SSC to speak, to answer any questions that you have. Or are you okay with the reason?
Do you believe it's been addressed?
Yes, it has been addressed.
That was just one of the concerns. Last time.
I have one other item I just realized, and Mr. Christine, please. Item C is the board resolution. It's a motion to approve one of the resolutions as presented. I believe your recommendation, because there are three resolutions presented there. Your recommendation is for the sixth grade center window replacement project resolution. Is that correct?
Option one,
Correct. Option one.
and that resolution would match the options.
So on G, there's also a choice. If so, we may have to. Well, that's my question, Mr. Garden, with the discussion that, Mr. Garden, with the discussion that the resolution as written, or the motion as written is motion to approve one of the resolutions as presented, with three resolutions presented. We've had a discussion that the recommendation is the sixth grade center window replacement project. Do we need to modify the motion?
Modify the motion because the motion would dictate which one of the options we accept.
Okay, so the,
Somebody could make it amended, that's
I think the easiest thing for us to do here is then withdraw motions and do these one at a time.
correct.
Does that mean? Who made the motion?
I think I did. I'll withdraw.
The Lions did.
Okay. So can I get a motion for capital projects,
I'll make the motion.
grants?
I'll second.
Motion to approve option one, single site, six. Discussions. Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All those opposed? So that one was motioned, seconded, as written for item 9B. Mr. Hippoff was first. Second was Mr. Reimers. Good to go. All right, now I'm looking for item C, board resolution. I'm asking for a motion to approve the sixth grade center window replacement project resolution as presented.
I will make that motion for sixth grade center window replacement project as well.
Motion by Mr. Spear. Make it a second. Second by Ms. Rogers. Discussions. Rob, do you want to tell us a little bit about the three options and why you're recommending a sixth grade center window replacement project?
Sure. Previously at the facilities meeting, we went over the fact that the windows in the sixth grade center have been leaking water significantly in certain parts of the building due to certain winds and temperature drops. So with that being said, the windows are an option along with, I believe there's three rooftop units also indicated on that, and also the fiberglass and metal panels that we're putting right outside the water. So that's the option that we're recommending at a one building site rather than multiple sites across the district with one.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to item 9B, the custodial contract. Motion to approve a one-year contract extension with SSC.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Hippoff with the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Spear with the second. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Can I get a motion for Item 9E, a motion to approve clearing the path at Trumbullsville Elementary as recommended by the administration. I'll make motion by Mr. Reimers,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hahn. Discussion. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the Singer quote as presented for the high school dishwasher? I'll make the motion. Mr. Hippo makes the motion.
Second.
Ms. Rogers with the second. Discussion? All those
A little under, budget,
just a little, 5% or so.
it works, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, last one, facilities, motion to approve ASL mechanical bid of $575,949 for the replacement of the chiller. I'll make that motion. Motion by Mr. Spear. I'll second. Second by Mr. Hippo.
Mr. Cristani, what was the, what do we have budgeted for the chiller?
That was 800,000, I believe.
We're coming in around 576.
That's correct. We had, I believe, there was 5 bids per project. It was very,
8 of them, I think.
was it 8? It's 8.
Yeah.
So it was very competitive.
Yeah, anywhere from 576 to 809.
So I received a notice today, so I'm gonna sign that off and get stuff ordered for a Jimmy project.
Great. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving on to the human resources consent agenda. I'm gonna try and group these because they're consent agenda. I just looked through them, don't see any options. So can I get a motion to approve items 10A through I of the human resources consent agenda? So moved. Motion by Mr. Kernan,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Parola. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Office of Teaching and Learning agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the 3 new middle level courses at Honest?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Reimers, second by Ms. Hahn. Motion as written. Discussion?
Yeah, I've got just a question about this. Do we believe that there's not interest for these new courses?
So at this point, they were written to be high interest electives. We don't pull students because if we weren't to get approval and then we were to offer them, that'd be a difficult conversation to have, especially with a 6th grader. So they were written to be high interest and written to address standards that aren't addressed in other places. As with any course, if we don't have enough interest, they would run.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. Cooking now. All right. Item 12, policy and programs consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve items A, B, and C as written? So moved. Motion by Mr. Reimers,
Second.
second by Ms. Rogers. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 13, sports and activities consent agenda. Can I get a motion for items A and B as written? The junior prom DJ and the Katie photography. I'll make that motion. Mr. Spear with the motion.
Second.
Mr. Marola with the second. Discussion.
Mr. Lemon.
Yes.
I see that Katie's back on. I thought we were looking at the direction, or was that based on a view by Mr. Sari? And I know there have been discussion about media
We had some discussion on, whether or not to consider, moving away from Katy and back to Christmas City. I believe that the consensus of the, was that a committee, I believe? Activities. It was Activities Committee. The consensus of the Activities Committee was to bring forth, the agreement contract for Katy. So that is what the committee had recommended after hearing that presentation.
Okay.
And that one is pending solicitor review.
Correct.
And it's a 1 year.
Most recently, the end of last year.
If I remember correctly, though, that's where allowing them to pay, because this was their first year, we're allowing the second year.
I believe the consensus of the committee was that, given that they haven't delivered a yearbook yet, this is their first engagement, it's really hard to judge the quality of their work without seeing it through. Christmas City has indicated that they're ready to step up and take this over at a moment's notice, so if we do decide, to change something in the future, that we still have that option. And this will be 1 year. This is a 1 year decision. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Information items. We have the senior high school suspension report. We have the escrow report. We have enrollment updates, district vacancies, right to know legal bills, transportation trend analysis, bus patrol, the activity report, elementary school guest speakers and presenters, middle school guest speakers and presenters, high school guest speakers and presenters, a statement of financial interest form due April 30th. So that's a reminder to get your financial interest forms into Ms. San Angelo.
I would like to, as just say, well, the, both in the executive and legal business and superintendent's office legals are, never checked, yeah, we got a permission to actually. Okay. All right.
I remember that, right?
I just did now, but yeah.
Okay. So for those in the audience, there's no new legal bills for that item, and that's why it wasn't updated.
I was gonna say that's, my understanding is that we only get them when they're. So we didn't have the constant back and forth on saying the names, that we only wanted to see them when it was an updated thing, so.
We'll try to, it was on there as a placeholder, we'll try to take it off in the future when there's no update. Okay, board comments, new business. Anybody have any new business for the board?
I just want to thank you. I think this is valuable here, and I thank you guys all for coming out, and I appreciate your comments.
I'm gonna make one quick comment. I've gone back and forth whether or not I want to do this, and I'll face his wrath. I'm gonna make one quick comment about an event coming up this weekend. There will be 2 students from Quakertown School District representing the district at the District 1, I believe, swim meet. Logan Abel, who is a freshman, who is gonna be awesome, and my son Jacob. That's the wrath I'm gonna get. I'm very proud of him. I'm happy to see these 2 young men really represent the district well this weekend.
So I'm probably gonna get in trouble with something I don't have to do. I want to say that I really appreciate everybody coming out and talking to us. It's very meaningful, and the emotions up here are just as raw as they are out there. This, no matter how you look at it, this was not anything anybody here would ever want. There is no one up here or out there that I believe would celebrate violence against children. It breaks my heart to see. And I acknowledge that we probably have a lot to learn from how we handle the situation. And I think there's a lot that we can do internally to possibly prevent something like this from happening again. And I hope that the community is listening to folks like Aiden and their common sense comments. I really appreciate what you said. It was very well said. We need to get back to a point where we can disagree civilly. We don't need to tolerate hate. We don't need to attack each other. We don't need to protect anybody that would infringe on the rights of somebody else. Like, I understand people have different perspectives. I appreciate your different perspectives, and I'm grateful to everybody who behaved up here. I'm proud of all of you. We did great. So I think we're all doing some self-reflection. I think we're all very close to this right now. It's still very raw. And I think the most measured approach to a response is going to require some distance and some time from the event, and then self-reflection on how we all do better. That's all I have to say.
Right, brief comments too. Please, I just wanted to say, I believe this is something we can all learn from. The district can make improvements to our communication channels. Students, I mean, we had many people come up here tonight and say, this was predictable. You know, we can do better in how we communicate with students. So as much as the students are going to learn something, the adults are going to learn something from this as well, at least at this stage. So, you know, I want to make sure that we are doing the right thing in the future. And one other thing that I heard, just to show you that I am listening, is that I heard a lot of accusations of racism, things like that. And I know in the past, when we've had an issue with this school, we brought a consultant in to the school to speak to the students. So if we have students calling each other racial slurs in hallways, maybe it's been too long since we've had somebody come in here to talk to that. So I believe that's something we can look into in the future. Thank you all for coming here.
Real close. All right, anybody else? Thank you. One more thing, I want to thank everybody for all the long hours, because we've all been, I mean, everybody, we've been putting in a lot of effort. Thank you for that. Dates for board member calendars, please review them. And now we are on the final general public comment. Now would be an appropriate time. Come on up.
I have to go.
Yes, please.
Well, we have a couple of people.
We have some comments signed up. I wasn't aware there were some that were signed up for this. And then, yes, we're gonna open up, even if they didn't sign up, we're gonna all get to come up and talk. Yeah. I sit here every week.
Emily Gaspar.
I just came up as a backup to speak on behalf of Justin, since he's from Buckingham and he's not allowed to speak.
We were gonna let him speak.
Oh, you are gonna let him speak?
It's general.
Okay, we said, you so he had to sign up. Okay.
Say what you want to say.
did sign up. So you go ahead.
I can speak.
Yeah, they said you can. That's great.
Hello, okay, I'm Justin Darcy, I'm from Buckingham, grew up in Lansdale, went to North Bend High School, and I'm an outsider, and not your namesake. But I'm an educator of 18 years, just moved into a different job, so I'm a former educator, music educator. I taught in Philadelphia for 3 years, and I taught in Asia and Taiwan for 8 years, and Shanghai for 3 years, and Beijing for 1 year. So I've been around, and I taught every single age range from school to adult. So that includes high school, middle school, elementary school. And they have different levels of pre-K. She has like 5 pre-Ks in Title I. It's messy. Uh, but look, I only know what I see, and I'm emotionally in a different place than people here because they're from this town. But I'm from this county, and when I left the country, I was away for 10 years. And I grew up in Lansdale. Montgomery County is diverse, and they held on to their DEI list in the face of pressure. And so I know that community has less racism. And I'm not making general accusations. I'm telling you my personal experience, what I discovered in moving to Bucks County from Shanghai, China 4 years ago, and seeing what the people in this county had to say about the things that we see and disturb us. And this girl that came up earlier and cried, that's real, okay? So don't know anybody say she's trying to be a drama queen. Okay, that girl is suffering. It's real. Her family is in danger. Think about the fear she is undergoing right now. It's real. And it's being, I'll just okay, so I'm just trying to address everybody in that perspective. Furthermore, I feel like you guys, from what I just heard, it was really like in touch response. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people are out of touch, but I feel like you guys are like the people I just heard speak is really encouraging. And the fact that you made the public comment available at the beginning was courteous. It's the way you should treat the community. You have an attitude of love in your heart. I can see it. And I know you know that when we treat children, that's where it's got to come from. And I know you know, everybody knows who saw what they saw, but that's not where that man was acting from. He was acting from anger and hatred, okay? And when you put your hands on a child, I don't care if it's in a school or if it's out of a school. The people in this district and who teach these children day and night for the shit salary that they get and the amount of hatred they get from this community. The care for a child does not stop when they leave the door. You are a shit teacher, and I was one for many years, so I speak from experience. Thank you for your comment. Thanks for listening, everybody. When I became a good teacher is when I started acting with love and started controlling my own anger. Thank you for your comment. Anyone else? If you'd like to form a line.
Hello again. David, I appreciate
Maybe municipality, it's for the record,
Oh,
we need to do it, sorry.
okay. Richland Town Borough. Oh, name as well. Aaron Rumsey. David, I don't think that time and distance is the answer. I think that immediate action in the moment that you have right here is the answer. Time and distance may heal certain things, but we don't have time with our students to change the amount of PTSD that they're experiencing and going through right now. We need to bring people in now, not deliberate about it, like carnivals and freezers. So I ask of all of you to reach down deep. I saw more emotion while going through the regular business of the school board than when anyone came up here to speak about the dangers that our students experience and the traumas that they experience as students. So this is your moment, and I encourage you and I implore you and I impel you all to take action now, start now. We are almost a week from the day of this event. You're behind the clock, and there are resources out there. Use the Google, do the things, find the people that can come in and help restore this community and the most important parts of it, and that's our students. And in regards to the racial slurs and hate speech that happens inside the walls of the schools, it's not new. My children, my students have been reporting this since they were in 6th grade center and middle school, everyone. Reporting it and getting a little yellow slip that gets buried under a pile and it's never actually addressed
with the students doing it. Do you know who gets in trouble for using racial slurs in school? Students that actually own them. Students that have taken back those words in an empowering sense. Not the students who are using them hatefully towards each other. Students that are using them with love. I have emailed and I have met with administrators at the high school this year more times than I would like to admit. But there being a lack of follow up and follow through on my concerns is why I'm here today. It's not just why I support these students, but why I support all of the students. And this is why I'm asking all of you to take action immediately and take their concerns seriously. There is records of these things. And as the school board, isn't that what you were voted to do? Or voted in to do?
Thank you for your comment.
Yes.
See if I may. John Waldenberg, technically Telford Borough, but I am in business in Richland Township. First, I wanted to add something I forgot to say when I spoke earlier, and that is for those who forget that children have First Amendment rights as well. These students that we're talking about today, they are what, 14, 15, 16, 17, maybe almost 18. They'll be voting this year, some of them. They'll be voting next year when some of the members of this board are up for re-election. They'll be voting in the 2028 presidential election. Their voice matters more than people realize, and I hope people will see that. Now we may jump away from politics for a second. I don't want to come to a board meeting briefly just to ask on behalf of my business. I own Walden's Music in Quakertown here. We're right on Broad Street. We're the only music store in town. And I love the music department in this district. Frankly, if I had the opportunity to move here, I may. But I would like to see something that maybe the board takes some action to bring a little more fairness into how music vendors are presented to the parents. Currently, the only thing that's in place is a try-it night that is only Zeswitz music. And I would like to see all other music companies, not just myself. I would love to see if Clemmers wants to come up here. I would love to see Saucon Valley come in if they want to, enter into this district too. I would love to see other local music stores have the opportunity to get in front of the students and in front of the parents. So we have a little more fair playing ground with, families seeing what their options are for musical instruments. And I would love to have more opportunities to help continue supporting the music program in the district. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Shannon Crowley, Quakertown Borough. Mr. Spears, I just want to say that I appreciated your comment about doing something and bringing experts into the community. I believe, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, that a group named the Peace Center, I believe, was in years ago. Maybe it's a different name. I'm sorry, Nelson. So these are some good organizations. However, I do just implore you to not do a check the box. Sometimes in education, I see it even in my own experiences in my schools. There's a lot of things that you want to get done and you want to get them done quickly. And you think, okay, if I bring this group in, it's going to be checked. We did it. It's off the list. It is a combating racism and hate in your school is not something you can do quickly by bringing an organization in. It has to start from the ground up.
has to start from the community. We need a community connection. We need a connection with the police officers, ones who may still be on the force after this investigation. And we need us to really think deeply about how we're going to go about this. It's not something, I mean, structured literacy is something that I know we all have to do with the state of Pennsylvania. We have to create comprehensive literacy plans. We have to get a group of community members, administrators, and special ed directors, and all of that together to create those plans. So we need to be a little bit more serious about this, maybe bring in some of the people in this community, and start to talk to one another and teach students how to communicate and communicate effectively. One thing that we do in education is we hide. I have a husband who's with me today. He's not speaking up here. He's also a teacher. He works for a public school and he's afraid. I'm sorry. but that's what it is. We are afraid we don't indoctrinate because we are afraid of losing our jobs. And you have to say to yourself, when we teach people not to be bigoted, is that political? It's not. This is a human right. So when you are talking to the community saying, we're reading this book, we're discussing these issues, we're having debates, we have a Republican club, or we have a Democratic club, a Green Party, whatever. We're having debates and we can communicate and we can talk and we can work together peacefully. It is not political to say that you should not say the N-word, that you should not call people bigoted, hateful words in your school community. And for people who say that adults don't wish abuse on children, you should read the comments online. Many people, maybe not in this room tonight, some of the disgusting things they said about our children. Good for them. FAFO, right? All those comments online. I hope he gets a raise. It's disgusting. So you can't do it all. But we have to do it all together. And we have to not just check a box. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ted Shylock. I'm from Audubon, Montgomery County. But I was a school board member for 12 years and with Acton School District. So I'm just going to say about 1 minute of a comment relating to Mr. Spears' suggestion about consultants. And only what the woman just said. She talked about having a grassroots. We encountered that ourselves. And what we did is we had a comprehensive consultation. We had not only with students, we had it with administrators, we had it with the staff, and we had it with the board. And you'll find it instructive because you don't know what you don't know, and you'll learn it there. And because you make the decisions, and it impacts as it goes down to the students, through the teachers, and through the administrators. So I would suggest that it's a good suggestion. I think it should be expanded.
So if you could send us that information. Board at ucsd.org.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Hello, Heather Brown. I live in Bedminster Township. I'm not from Quakertown, but I'm in the area. And the most important people in the world to me are students at Quakertown High School. It's no surprise to me to hear the folks standing up here talking about the racism and discrimination that they faced. I don't live here, but it's well known to me. I have to hope that it's well known to you, but I almost don't want to hope that, right? Because if you knew and it's not addressed, then that's a thing. But if you didn't know and everybody else knew, then that's also a thing. So I'm super appreciative of you all being here and listening and hopefully taking into account the voices that are speaking tonight. I wanted to make a comment on behalf of the students who participated in the protest. I certainly don't know all the details. I'm not presuming to, but it's my understanding that there is some, I'll say, school disciplinary action perhaps for those kids. If that's the case, and I don't know that it is. But if that's the case, I'd just like to make a plea on their behalf. There's lots of kids who are suffering and in a bad spot right now and who are not feeling good and who are not feeling safe in general.
So to add something like a school suspension to their record, or detention, potentially even, that just seems to me to place, an unnecessary emotional burden on those kids who've already been through a situation that it sounds like none of us would ever want them to be in, of course. So I just ask you to think about those kids and anything you can do within your power, to ease their burden with that simple act, right? You know, we talk about doing things now and bringing in folks. All of that is amazing. And yes, I think there's a lot of work to be done, but you can also start with small wins. If there's anything, you know, within your power that you can do to help those kids and to show them that, you know, maybe you recognize that things could have been done differently, right? I think, you know, there were kids present here today. I don't know if there's a plan to relay this information to the students, but I think it would be great. Thank you so much.
I'm Megan Amy. I've lived in Quakertown on and off for many, many years. I am an alumni, moved out of the town for a long time. Left the town to go to college because this town was not where I wanted to be for a multitude of reasons. I have a house here now. I'm up on Hillcrest. When I was in high school, Hillcrest Road was horse farms. There were nice people on Hillcrest. When I look out my front door now, there are the same people that cold rolled through the Black Lives Matter protests driving down my street at midnight or 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I don't know, pick a time. The police never, ever follow up on these people. And I want to point that out to you because you guys have received some threats. And I understand that you are doing your absolute best. But what I want to let you know is that we are all here with you. And this conspiracy against human rights, this is a felony. But this has been going on for so many years in Quakertown that people are complacent with it. And these people here tonight are not complacent with it. Not one of these people is. Even the men who are upset about our police force getting caught in the middle of this. Because our entire police force is not KKK. Our entire police force is not corrupt. But we want you guys to be firm. We need your support. We do not need the same aggressors that attacked our children in the street to come after them inside the schools. We do not need our kids locked down in a hallway when there's hundreds of kids trying to get out that door and have these officers that are responsible for their safety, putting them in danger in a way where they could be run over. We all know the fire hazards in this case. So there were barricades that happened within the school that blocked hundreds of kids in a hallway, knowing that there was a gun threat. And the other kids who were allowed out of the school, we know many of them are tech students. We know the antagonists in this. You guys know the antagonists in this. And we want you to be firm, and we want you to talk to the DA, please.
Good evening, Ronald Jackson, Richland Township, former member of this esteemed panel. I want to say I sympathize with everybody on the board specifically because I know where you come from and what you're thinking right now. Speaking for the board, not that I could, but understanding your role, it concerns me that so many people are suggesting that it is your fault in some manner. The moment the school students left the school building, they were no longer under your charge. You had no control of what they did. You had no control of what the police officers did when they engaged with the students. So the continuous lambasting of what occurred at the moment they left the school grounds concerned the concept that you can somehow free the students who are in some way not able to do what a little short there, Barry.
That was just for you.
So It concerns me that many people here are saying, suggesting that in some way you can change the outcome of the legal proceedings that are about to engage. And that in some way you have some control over the members who are a part of Quakertown's police force. That concerns me. It concerns me that there seems to be an impression that you somehow have to allow the students to leave the school as if you couldn't stop them. To that, I would suggest that should my 10-year-old son choose to go home for lunch, you're going to let him, correct? I mean, you don't have the ability to stop a student from leaving the school district. Is that what you're telling me? There must be some rationale, some policy, something for you all to consider before you decide whether or not to allow something to go forward in the future. Certainly you knew that when this thing was going to be canceled, something like this would happen. I would suggest there was a better way to do something. I understand the nature of the threat was severe. I disagree with the parents who said, well, you should have known, we should have known this, that, and the other thing. Well, I believe most of the parents would have said, well, it's just a threat. We still want it to go on until some student got shot and died. And then they would complain because we didn't cancel it. So you're in a catch-22 situation. It's impossible for you to win. One thing I will take issue with, I believe the district leadership has failed in a number of ways since it became the district leadership. First event that happened was the swearing in ceremony. And unfortunately, the district leadership decided to select somebody, I believe, in a partisan reason, because they went with a local mayor who had, unfortunately, no authority to perform the swearing in ceremonies and had to quickly redo the whole thing because it had to be done by a judge, which is what we had traditionally done in the past, but you chose to do just certain other things. Then we have the issue with the superintendent. Now, there are reasons behind it, but it's a bad look when the contract with the superintendent was extended and the first thing that happens is he was removed from his role. That's not a good look. And then we have this incident, I think it could have been handled better. So that I asked the district leadership, you need to do a lot better. The optics are pretty bad since you guys have taken the leadership. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Okay, thank you all for your comments. We are all into, can I get a motion to adjourn? So moving. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.